Taurus, you're rebuilding something silently right now, aren't you? Something no one sees, no one notices, something you don't even have the courage to tell the people closest to you because you know they won't understand the depth of what was taken from you. You wake up every day and put one brick at a time on top of the other, rebuilding what was destroyed, what was ripped from your hands, what was lost in ways that still hurt when you stop to think about it. And the worst part is that you do this while everyone around you thinks you've already overcome it, that you've moved on, that you're already fine. But you know the truth. Each day is a conscious choice not to fall apart completely. What was taken from you wasn't small. It wasn't something you can replace by buying another one or simply moving on. It was something you built with your own hands, with your own time, with your own vital energy. It might have been a relationship you nurtured for years, with patience and dedication. It might have been a financial stability that took a lifetime to build, only to disappear overnight. It might have been your self-confidence, your ability to believe that good things can last, your faith that effort truly pays off. Whatever it was, you feel the emptiness left by this loss in a physical, tangible way. As if a part of you has been literally ripped away, leaving a hole you've been trying to fill alone, silently, without asking for help, because you've learned that people don't understand the kind of pain you carry. They don't understand that for you, Taurus. Losing something you spent years building isn't just a loss. It's a violation of your very essence. You are the sign of slow construction, patient creation, and long-term investment. When you love deeply and forever. When you build something, be it a career, a home, a relationship, a life, you pour your soul into it. You don't do anything halfway. Each brick you lay is accompanied by intention, care, a part of you that integrates with what is being created. Therefore, when something is taken from you, it's not just an external loss. It's as if pieces of your own internal structure have been ripped away, and no one saw how you cried in silence. No one noticed the nights you lay awake, wondering if it was worth starting over. If you had the strength to rebuild from scratch, something that took so long to build the first time. No one witnessed the moments you looked at your own hands and wondered if they still had the capacity to create, to build, to transform raw material into something beautiful and solid again. But here's what you need to know now, and I need you to hear this not just with your mind, but with every cell in your Taurian body that knows profound truths about the natural cycles of death and rebirth. What was taken from you is coming back. And it's not coming back in the same measure, in the same form, in the same way. It's coming back 10 times stronger, more solid, more beautiful, more enduring than what you lost. The universe doesn't take things from you without purpose. And especially Taurus, the sign that most values what is built with time, dedication, and love. The universe doesn't remove something lightly. When something is ripped from your life, even brutally, painfully, unfairly, there's a redesign happening behind the scenes. There's a plan being executed that you can't yet see because you're in the middle of the rebuilding process. For Taurus is born between April 20th and April 30th, what was taken away was related to your emotional or financial security, something you thought would be eternal, something you never imagined losing. For those born between May 1st and 10th, the loss was something that defined your identity, something that was an essential part of how you saw yourself in the world. And for those born between May 11th and 20th, what was taken away was something that represented a long-held dream, a vision of the future you had nurtured for years. But in all cases, the loss wasn't the end. It was a necessary demolition so that something much greater could be built on the same land. You're now in the most difficult phase of the process, the one where the old has been destroyed, but the new isn't yet fully formed. You're in the void between what was and what will be. And this void is terrifying for a sign that needs solidity, tangibility, and knowing where it stands. What you don't realize yet, because you're so focused on surviving each day, on putting one foot in front of the other, on trying to rebuild with the strength you have, is that while you consciously rebuild with your own hands, the universe is rebuilding something much larger, with forces you can't control. You are building the visible. The cosmos is building the invisible. And when these two constructions meet, when your earthly effort merges with the cosmic redesign, the result will be something that will leave you speechless. The multiplication by 10 is not a metaphor, it's literal. What's coming back to you is exponentially bigger, better, more aligned with who you truly are now, having gone through the fires of loss and rebuilding, because you are no longer the same person you were before the loss. You have been refined, purified, strengthened in ways that are only possible when everything superficial is burned away and only the essence survives. Taurus, I know you're tired. I know there are days when you look at what you're rebuilding and wonder if you'll have the strength to finish. I know there are nights when you miss what you had before so much that you question whether it's worth carrying on. I know you've been carrying this alone because the people around you don't understand the weight you're carrying while smiling and saying everything's fine. But I see you, and I know you're doing a Herculean job of rebuilding that deserves to be recognized. I know that every day you choose to keep going, even when everything inside you wants to give up, is an act of courage few people could sustain. I need you to recognize your own strength right now. Leave a comment saying, "I've lost a lot, but I'm rebuilding something bigger." This isn't just a comment, it's a statement of empowerment. It's you acknowledging that you haven't been destroyed by loss, that you're actively creating something new, that you choose to believe the best is yet to come, even when you can't see it yet. And when you write this, you're helping other Tauruses find the courage to continue their own rebuilding. The reason what's coming back will be tenfold stronger has to do with something fundamental about how the universe works. When something is taken from you brutally, painfully, and seemingly unfairly, it's not because you deserve to lose it or because you did something wrong. It's because what you had, however valuable, had a natural limit. It had a ceiling you couldn't see, but it was there. And you needed that empty space to receive something that simply wouldn't fit in the life you had before. The relationship you lost, as painful as it was, had dynamics that limited you in ways you can only see now in retrospect. The financial stability that disappeared was keeping you in a comfort zone that prevented your true potential from emerging. The identity that was ripped from you was built on foundations that weren't entirely yours, but rather expectations absorbed from others. Loss forced you to question everything, to rebuild not based on what others expected you to be, but based on who you truly are when all masks and protections are removed. And this authentic reconstruction, this construction that comes from your deepest truth, has a power that constructions based on external expectations never will. Taurus, you've been feeling subtle shifts happening these past few weeks, haven't you? Small signs that something is shifting, that pieces are starting to fall into place in unexpected ways. A contact that reappears, bringing an opportunity, an idea that emerges and seems to have real potential, a growing sense that you're finally climbing out of the deepest hole and beginning to see the light. These are not random signs. They are the first visible signs that the invisible reconstruction the universe was carrying out behind the scenes is beginning to manifest itself on the material plane. It is the moment when the two constructs, yours and the cosmic, begin to touch, to merge, to create something greater than the sum of its parts. In the coming months, you'll begin to see more clearly why you needed to go through everything you did. You'll have moments of sudden understanding where you realize that if you hadn't lost what you lost, you would never have had the space to receive what's coming now. That the demolition, however painful, was absolutely necessary for what was being prepared for you. The return won't come all at once. It will come in waves, in layers, in progressive manifestations that grow in intensity and magnitude. First, there will be a small but significant sign that things are changing. Then an opportunity that seems too good to be true, but is real. Then, a series of impossible coincidences will show you that there's something bigger orchestrating your life, and eventually, what returns will be so obviously greater than what you lost that you'll be grateful for the loss, however contradictory that may seem now. The tenfold multiplication manifests itself differently for different people. For some, it will be literal, tenfold income, tenfold better opportunities. For others, it will be qualitative, tenfold healthier relationships, a life tenfold more aligned with true values, a tenfold deeper sense of fulfillment. But in all cases, the difference between what was lost and what is returning will be undeniable, impossible to ignore, concrete proof that cosmic justice exists even when it seems the universe has abandoned you. Taurus, your greatest gift and your greatest curse is that you build to last. When you love, you want it to last forever. When you create something, you want it to last forever. And when you lose, the pain is proportional to the investment you made. You don't do anything superficially, so your losses are never superficial. Every loss hits you to the core because you put your heart into everything you do. But here's the truth you need to embrace. Eternity doesn't mean the same things remain forever in the same form. Eternity means that the essence of what you create, love, dedication, beauty, solidity, transcends specific forms and manifests in increasingly evolved creations. What you learned by building what you lost wasn't lost with the form. It was integrated into you, becoming a permanent part of who you are. And now, when you rebuild, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from a much higher ground, with wisdom that only comes from loss, with strength that only comes from having survived what seemed insurmountable, with clarity that only comes from having questioned everything and found your own answers. The rebuilding you're doing now is qualitatively superior to the original construction because you are qualitatively superior to the person you were before. The magnified return has already begun, even if you can't yet fully see it. It's happening on invisible levels first, in your energy, your vibration, the way you relate to the world. People around you have already noticed changes in you, even if they can't quite pinpoint what they are. There's a different solidity, a stronger presence, an inner certainty that wasn't there before. This internal shift is the first stage of return, because what returns doesn't return to the same person who lost it. It returns to the evolved version of that person, to someone who can sustain, appreciate, and properly utilize the magnitude of what's returning. If what's returning appeared before you were ready, you would treat it the same way you treated what you lost, with the same standards, the same limitations, the same blind spots. But now you're different. Loss taught you a deeper appreciation. Rebuilding taught you your own creative capacity. Emptiness taught you that you can exist and be whole, even without the things you thought were essential. And all these lessons combined prepared you to receive something the old you could never sustain. Taurus, in the coming days and weeks, pay special attention to details. You're naturally attentive to the material world, to small, tangible signs of change. You'll begin to notice physical evidence that things are shifting in your favor. It could be an unexpected connection, an opportunity that comes out of nowhere, a chance encounter that opens doors, or a growing sense that you're finally entering a new phase. Don't dismiss these signs as coincidences. They are confirmation that the cosmic reconstruction is synchronizing with your personal reconstruction. They are tangible evidence that the invisible is beginning to become visible, that the promised is beginning to manifest, that the magnified return is coming. And when it arrives, and it will, you'll understand on a cellular level why you needed to go through everything you did. You'll see with absolute clarity that the loss wasn't cruel or unfair, but precisely calibrated to get you exactly where you needed to be, to receive exactly what was being prepared for you all along. What was taken from you is already coming back. It's coming back stronger because you're stronger. It's coming back bigger because you've expanded. It's coming back better because you've evolved. And when it finally manifests fully, you'll look back on the moment of loss and be grateful, not because the pain wasn't real, but because the gain is so far greater that it retroactively justifies every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of despair. If this message resonated with you, if you recognized your own experience of loss and rebuilding in these words, share in the comments. No need to share details. Just acknowledge that you're in the process and that you choose to believe in the magnified return, even when you can't yet fully see it. Subscribe to the channel because your rebuilding process deserves to be accompanied and supported. You'll need constant reminders that you're on the right path, that your return is coming, and that your faith and effort are worth it. Turn on notifications to receive content that will strengthen you in moments of doubt and remind you of the magnitude of what's being built for you. What was taken away wasn't the end. It was the preparation of the ground. And what's coming back will prove that every loss was a disguised investment in a future you can't even fully imagine yet. 10 times stronger, 10 times bigger, 10 times better. It's coming back.